Team Marker Trap Review, guys. Get right to it. Right now on Alamo City Movie Talk fans, as always, I'm your host, Ryan D, aka Ryan680. And this is Alamo City Movie Talk, guys. You know what to do, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and thank you for making us a part of your day. But let's get right to it. We just got done getting home from watching M. Night Shyamalan's movie, Trap, ladies and gentlemen. Written and directed M. Night Shyamalan Trap film with Josh Hartnett, starring Josh Hartnett. And, of course, M. Night Shyamalan making a little cameo right there, guys, which he always, usually, 9 times out of 10, I think there's like a few movies where he doesn't, but most of the time he does make a cameo in his film. So, hey, let you know on that part. But let's get right to it. First and foremost, Angela, I was very, very excited.
Yes,
you know, the trailer sold me so much on this movie. It's so, I mean, Josh Hartnett, we're 90s babies, and Black Hawk Down, The Faculty, movies like that are just they're so good. They're so like a guilty pleasure. As much as The Faculty is like not like the Oscar winner of a movie, it's still today. It's still just like a cheesy, funny, great moment in my opinion. I really enjoyed that movie. It was very enjoyable. And so with M. Night Shyamalan's track record and everything, I haven't really been liking his recent films and everything. But I gotta say though, this movie, you know, Knock at the Cabin with Dave Bautista, that was okay. That was all right. I mean, we didn't love it. I think we gave it a pretty good, solid, good review. It was overall this is a good, solid film. But M. Night Shyamalan has usually been coming with like The Split was really good, and then we got Glass, which wasn't that good, and then it was just their own. He created his own multiverse, if you will. But anyways, and anyone who's a fan of M. Night Shyamalan knows this story. Knows his movies and everything. But I gotta say, because before we get into this review, I have to say it. My favorite M. Night Shyamalan movie is Signs. I love Signs. Signs creeped me the hell out when I first saw it so many years ago. And
I mean, who's not traumatized by that scene where he walks out from the cornfield,
right?
But yeah, no, I agree. I think for me, his movies are a little bit more hit or miss for me.
Yeah,
I loved Signs and everything. Some of the Split, I really liked Split. Mm-hmm. I did. But some of his recent ones, I'm like, maybe. The other recent one with Dave Bautista, the cabin in the woods kind of thing, that one was pretty good. So he has a lot of interesting stories for me. I love his genre that he dips in. He's so good at it. So I was very piqued. It piqued my interest, this trailer, right? So going into it, we knew it was a little bit different than we're used to, right? I love mystery whodunits, but as an audience member, you know who it is, and you're just trying to figure out, is he gonna get caught the whole movie? And I loved that change of pace that we normally get, right? I loved that story. It was so interesting to me, and all of it's almost like kind of claustrophobic in a way, because it's a concert, and as big as this hall, this stadium, this arena is, there's only so many places you could go. And I feel like with the police presence and everything, you kind of get kind of smaller and smaller. Like it's like he's almost getting caught. It's almost there. And you kind of don't know, at least for me as a person, you know, he's this horrible serial killer, but you're kind of like, do you want him to get caught? Because you see he has a nice family. His daughter's so nice. Yeah. Is he going to get caught? Like, it's just crazy how it's such an interesting perspective. And I really appreciated the story behind it. I know in a trailer reaction or out of theater reaction, I did mention that there's not a lot of big moments in here. I mean, there are like very suspenseful moments that you think like this is it. Mm-hmm. This is what's gonna happen. Yeah. But it's not a lot of big action sequences or like big gore scenes that like shock the audience. But I do say the story carried through a lot for me. Yeah. I was kept on my toes pretty much the entire time. So I will say he did a very fantastic job, written and directed. Fantastic job, and I really, really loved this a lot more than I thought I would. I agree with you.
Right.
I thought I would.
So Josh Hartnett, he's the stellar actor in this movie and everything. He really carries you because it's really centered on him, on his story and everything. And so he does a fantastic, splendid job here. I really enjoyed his take on here. It's been a while. It feels so good to see him on camera again. I'm not gonna lie, it really does. But it's been such a long time since I can't remember the last. I mean, I know he was a supporting role in Oppenheimer, but as far as like a lead, it's definitely been a long time. But regardless, though, I gotta say, M. Night Shyamalan, written and directed. I feel like that this was like the way M. Night Shyamalan thought of this idea. He was either watching the Taylor Swift concert, the Eras tour. He was watching of that era, or maybe his daughters were, and he was like, what if there's like in his psychological mind, this movie is the definition of a psychological thriller. It really is.
And it was cool that his daughter, like the singer, was actually his daughter, who is a singer-songwriter.
Yes, Salika Shyamalan. And so she was great in there as well. And so
she could sing.
Yeah.
She could sing, homegirl.
Yeah, and so I really enjoyed this movie. Now, again, though, we go back to where, like, did it have story depth? Not that much. It's a very predictable movie. In some cases, certain situations, it does become a little bit predictable. But one of the things that really becomes unraveling here, get this. I even told Angela, I said, man, this reminds me a lot of myself when I have to improvise. When certain situations occur on my daily job, I have to improvise and figure stuff out. It's almost to where, like, holy crap, like, it's very relatable. But again, it's obviously totally different things. But you kind of have to, like, you're always on edge, and you always got to figure out a solution to your problem. And I feel like that every problem that occurred in this concert, he found a solution to. He found a way to get into a certain objective.
Well, because
very intelligent.
You got to realize, though, like, when it opens up, and starts to tell this story, you're not really given much context. You as an audience member have to pick up these clues.
But that's okay though, because the trailer gave us exactly what we wanted.
Yeah.
We know that he's trapped. That's the part of the movie.
Yeah, he's a serial killer.
My problem was that I did not want, and I'm happy we didn't get that. Spoiler, we didn't get that. I did not want for this guy to be some other creature or something like that, to where, like, it's not really him. It's another twist, like a twist of a movie that is unnecessary. What I wanted was a simple story, and we got that of a serial killer.
And we did get a smaller twist, like on a smaller scale.
Yeah, we won't talk about that, but yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, his movies always have that twist. But yeah, it was a little bit definitely smaller scale. Nothing like too outlandish or like, come on. No, but I will say I really like him because when you say like, he's quick on his feet, he's smart. You get from there, he's killed so many people.
Yeah.
And he's gotten away with it so far. He's got to be on his feet and,
on edge every time.
On edge and super noticeable of his surroundings, and like you say, in a way can kind of finesse his way out of situations, and he does. And it's like, again, it brings you back to like, will he get away with it still? And so I really liked that aspect. I think it was really cool to see that unravel, the way it ended, the twist, everything. It was a really like pretty solid story for me.
Yeah, no, this has got to be one of his great movies in recent years, I would say, because it's just Knock at the Cabin. I really didn't. It was okay. It was all right. It was okay. But again, if you were to compare the two, his recent work, I would say this is definitely one of the best. Again, we go back to where like my favorite movie was Signs, guys, but I still had a great time in this theater. This theater was definitely a movie to watch in theaters, because it definitely kept you at the edge of your seats, because anxiety was up, and I was like, man, is he gonna make it? What's going on? And at the same time, though, you kind of it's not every day you root for a serial killer, but in a certain way, in a certain weird way, I found myself kind of rooting for Josh and Harnett, and he has these like gritty moments that are just so spot on, beautiful, and I just love how he just gives off this energy of like, I'm a dad, and he's so likable, and he's so
that's how he's so charismatic.
Yeah, almost like me.
Don't, but like every single person he came into contact with was like, they just felt their guard down, like let down, because he was so nice, charismatic, and
you even said it was like, oh, it's right. It was that's me.
Yeah, because like it's an interesting story to see how you get insight into how he's gotten away with it for so long. And again, there's not too much like context of like backhand story. You figure it out as you go, but it's not too much. I know sometimes a lot of problems come where like too much backstory. Just gave us enough. It was short, sweet, to the point. Great story, solid. The way it was executed, it was great.
All right, guys, so ratings 1 out of 10, 10 being the highest. When do you give this rating, Angela?
I'll give it a solid 7.5, because I really enjoyed the story. It was very interesting to me. Like I said, the concept of like, we get all the time movies that are like, you have to figure out who did it. But this one, you knew who did it from the get-go.
Who did it? Yeah.
Right. I mean, if you didn't see the trailer, within the first few moments of the film, you kind of figure out who did it. Like, and
well, we already know who did it, but yeah.
Well, yeah, if you didn't see the trailer.
Yeah.
But again, I really liked how we as an audience member kind of followed along and see like, when is this going to happen? When is the big reveal? When is everyone going to find out except the audience? But again, I think it's 7.5. I think Josh did a fantastic job. He was great. The rest of the cast was great. The daughter, the family, the singer, which is the director's daughter.
Yeah.
She did fantastic too. She's amazing here. But yeah, I think overall the cast did great. The story was solid, and
so you give it a 7.5. I'm gonna give it a solid 8.5. I'm gonna go almost a 9 here. One of the special moments in this movie was that the fact that Josh just carried the movie for me. There's a lot of these like these charismatic chemistry moments he has with every single individual he encounters, and I just love it. It's so good. It's so like it happens a lot more frequently than we know when something like that occurs, and it's so relatable, and it's so inventive. I love it when M. Night Shyamalan creates these quirky, weird scenarios, and just I go back to where like I haven't seen his interviews. I'm pretty sure he has gotten asked that, like, how did you think of this idea? And I feel like that he was watching Taylor Swift Eras Tour, I'm calling it, and when his daughters were watching it, and he had to watch it, of course, and so he was just like, what if there's a serial killer there? That would be good, a movie, that would be a good film. But yeah,
or he could have seen his daughter's concert. She is a singer-songwriter. She's established. So I mean, I think the story was pretty unique that we've seen so far.
Yep.
But we did miss one previous film he directed, was The Sixth Sense.
No, I seen this. That was years ago.
That was a long time ago.
And see, that film. That's all right. The best movie for me is Signs. I love Signs. I could go back and rewatch Signs. Sixth Sense, I can't go back and rewatch it. It's all right. But Signs, I can rewatch nonstop. It's Joaquin Phoenix, Mel Gibson.
I cannot rewatch it because that scene still traumatizes
the walk.
me. The walk out of the cornfield and the birthday party recording.
So good.
That will forever haunt me.
All right, guys. Well, question is for you. What did you guys think of Trap, ladies and gentlemen? It's a trap. What did y'all think of Trap, ladies and gentlemen? Put in comments down below and let us know your thoughts. As always, I am your host, Ryan D. aka Ryan680.
I am Angela Thakelian.
And this is Alamo City Movie Talk, guys. See you at the movies. Catch you later.